Could the Steelers bring back a familiar face? Breaking news has shaken the NFL, and it could change everything in Pittsburgh. What just happened with a former Steelers player has left fans stunned. And the best part? The unexpected twist in this story could give Pittsburgh an unforeseen advantage for the upcoming season. Stay tuned. This isn't something you see every day. Just a few hours ago, the New England Patriots announced the release of offensive tackle Chukwuma Okorafor, a player who spent 6 seasons in Pittsburgh before being cut in February 2024. The news came as a shock since Okorafor had signed a one-year, $4 million deal with New England. But something strange happened. He was benched after just 12 snaps in Week 1. Then, he completely disappeared from the team and was placed on the exempt list. Since then, no one knew if he would continue playing in the NFL or if he had decided to retire. But now, with his official release, all signs point to Okorafor wanting to stay in the league. And this is where things get interesting for the Steelers. Let's not forget that Okorafor was a third-round pick in the 2018 draft and played 77 games for the Steelers, starting in 59 of them. In 2022, Pittsburgh gave him a 3-year, $29.25 million contract, betting on him as their right tackle of the future. But things didn't go as expected, and in 2024, his time with the team came to an end. Now, the big question is, should the Steelers consider a reunion with Okorafor? Pittsburgh's offensive line has been a hot topic in recent years, and while they've made key moves to improve it, bringing in a veteran who already knows the system could be a smart play. But here's the big plot twist. According to internal reports, multiple teams have already expressed interest in Okorafor, potentially sparking a race to sign him. And sources close to the league suggest that a team from the AFC North is seriously considering him. Imagine if he ends up with the Ravens or the Bengals. That would be a huge blow to the Steelers and extra motivation for Okorafor if he faces his former team. But beyond where he might land, the real question is Okorafor still a reliable player? His time in Pittsburgh had its ups and downs. While he showed solid pass protection, he struggled with penalties and consistency. That left many fans wondering if he was truly worth his multi-million-dollar contract. Now that he's a free agent, there's no doubt several teams will see him as a low-risk, high-upside option. Could he return to Pittsburgh on a more affordable deal? That's a possibility that can't be ruled out. With the 2025 season approaching, the Steelers need depth on the offensive line. Having a player who already knows the system, the locker room, and the team's mentality could be a strategic advantage that few have considered. On the other hand, some believe the Steelers should move forward and focus on developing their young offensive linemen. With players like Broderick Jones and Dan Moore Jr. already on the roster, do they really need to bring Okorafor back? That's a debate that will surely divide Steelers Nation. As for Okorafor, his next destination in the NFL remains a mystery. However, his sudden exit from the Patriots raises questions about his current performance. Was it an attitude issue? Were there conflicts with the coaching staff? These doubts might make some teams think twice before offering him a contract. Despite this, offensive linemen with experience are always in demand in the NFL, and at just 27 years old, Okorafor still has time to revive his career. What happens in the coming days could define his immediate future. So far, Pittsburgh hasn't publicly shown interest in bringing him back, but free agency is unpredictable. A short-term, incentive-based contract could be a viable solution if the Steelers are looking to bolster their offensive line depth. The decision to sign him or not will largely depend on the coaching staff and front office's evaluation. Mike Tomlin and his team will need to determine whether bringing Okorafor back would be more beneficial than risky. In the meantime, Steelers fans are keeping a close eye on every move in free agency. With the preseason right around the corner, any addition could make a difference for the team in 2025. The AFC North is a tough division, and every decision counts. One thing is certain, regardless of where Okorafor ends up, his NFL journey isn't over yet. The uncertainty surrounding his situation with the Patriots has come to an end, and now he's free to find a new team. The question is, will Pittsburgh consider bringing him back, or is a new challenge waiting for him elsewhere? But what do you think, Steelers fans? Should Pittsburgh consider bringing him back, or is it better to leave the past behind? Do you believe Okorafor still has what it takes to contribute to this team? We want to hear your thoughts. Incredible.
Pittsburgh is on fire.
But not because of a Steelers victory. This is something no one saw coming. Kenny Pickett, the quarterback who was once the future of the franchise, is now a Super Bowl champion, but with another team. And not just any team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, you read that right. Kenny Pickett, the quarterback the Steelers selected in the first round of the 2022 draft, hoping to turn him into their next star, now has a championship ring, but not with Pittsburgh. Instead, he achieved it with the Eagles, a team that gave him a second chance and, surprisingly, dominated Super Bowl 59. The Eagles didn't just win. They humiliated the Kansas City Chiefs with a crushing 40-22 victory, preventing Patrick Mahomes and company from making history with a third consecutive championship. While Pickett wasn't the star of the game, his name is now forever etched in history as a champion. But for Steelers fans, this victory leaves a bitter taste. Pickett arrived in Pittsburgh as the great hope to restore the Steelers to glory, but his time with the team was anything but legendary. Over 2 seasons, he accumulated 4,474 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions, numbers that simply didn't convince anyone. The offense never took off under his leadership, and when the team decided to sign Russell Wilson last year, Pickett's departure became inevitable. Eventually, he was traded to the Eagles along with a 4th-round pick in exchange for a 3rd-round pick and 2 7th-rounders. At the time, no one imagined the impact this move would have on the future. His arrival in Philadelphia was low-key. He became Jalen Hurts' backup and had few opportunities during the regular season, playing in 5 games and recording 291 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. However, when Hurts suffered a minor injury in Week 17, Pickett had the chance to prove his worth, leading a crucial victory that secured home field advantage for the playoffs. Although Hurts resumed his starting role in the postseason, Pickett remained part of the team and ended up celebrating the championship on the grandest stage. What was even more surprising than the Eagles' victory was the reaction in Pittsburgh. Thousands of University of Pittsburgh students took to the streets to celebrate, as if the Steelers had won. But they hadn't. The celebration was for Pickett, their former college quarterback, the same player who led them to the ACC title in 2021 and was now an NFL champion. Social media exploded with divided opinions. Some Steelers fans cheered for his achievement, while others saw it as a betrayal. And here's where the story takes an unexpected twist. Reports within the NFL have started surfacing, suggesting that the Steelers might be regretting letting Pickett go so quickly. With Russell Wilson signing only a 1-year deal and no guaranteed quarterback for the future, Pittsburgh's outlook at the most critical position remains uncertain. Now, imagine this scenario. Pickett returns to Pittsburgh in a couple of years, now with the experience of being part of a championship team, a Super Bowl ring on his hand, and something he never had during his first stint with the Steelers, respect. It would be a redemption story that few could have predicted. The question now is Pickett truly a quarterback worthy of a winning team, or was he simply in the right place at the right time? In Philadelphia, his role was limited, but he was part of a successful system. In Pittsburgh, he never managed to take off, but what if they had given him more time to develop? The Steelers have a big decision to make in the coming months. If Wilson doesn't perform as expected, they might find themselves searching for a new quarterback. And with Pickett now having championship experience, could he be the one to return and finish what he started? Now it's your turn. Do you think the Steelers regret trading Pickett? Do you see him coming back in the future to chase glory with Pittsburgh? Let me know in the comments. Could the Pittsburgh Steelers be on the verge of making a move that could completely transform their offense? In recent hours, news has shaken up the NFL, and this could be the game-changer Pittsburgh needs to get back to elite offensive status. San Francisco 49ers star Deebo Samuel is now on Pittsburgh's radar. And no, this isn't just a rumor. Samuel's agent has already started making calls, and the list of interested teams is growing. Pittsburgh, in particular, seems to be one of the most serious contenders in the race to sign him. The Steelers' need for an elite receiver is no secret. In recent seasons, Pittsburgh's offense has struggled to find consistency and explosiveness. They've lost key players, And despite having talent in other areas, the lack of a truly dominant aerial threat has been evident. With a team looking to boost its offensive potential, the addition of Deebo Samuel could be the key to giving the franchise a new dimension on offense. But will this be the right move? Will the price be right? One of the biggest hurdles the Steelers face is Deebo Samuel's contract. Currently, Samuel has 1 year left on his deal with the 49ers, with a $15 million cap hit. This means any team looking to acquire his services will need to offer him a substantial contract extension. The San Francisco Star isn't just seeking a new deal, but also a change of scenery where he can be considered the centerpiece of the offense. This could be Pittsburgh's opportunity to offer him the spotlight he's looking for, but do they really need him? If we look back a bit, we discover that the Steelers had already tried to make a similar move in the past. During trade talks with the 49ers, Pittsburgh showed interest not only in Brandon Ayuk, but also in Deebo Samuel. At that time, San Francisco chose to retain him, but what's significant here is that Pittsburgh's interest in Samuel isn't a recent development. There's already a history of previous attempts, and now it might be the right moment for the Steelers to take the next step and make a decisive move to acquire the talented receiver. However, the big question remains, do the Steelers really need a receiver like Samuel? While the answer might seem obvious to many, it's worth considering. Samuel is an incredibly versatile player, capable of catching, running with the ball, and even contributing significantly on special teams. Last season, in 15 games, Samuel recorded 51 receptions for 670 yards and scored 4 touchdowns, stats that clearly place him among the best receivers in the league. But beyond the numbers, his ability to be a threat on the field makes him an attractive target for any team. Still, is he the ideal receiver for the Steelers, or could they look for more affordable options? But there's one concern that can't be overlooked: Deebo Samuel's injury history. While he's an incredibly explosive player, his health has been a recurring issue throughout his career. After a series of early career injuries, Samuel has proven to be prone to setbacks that could affect his availability. This is especially concerning for the Steelers, who have been very cautious in the past with injury-prone players. If Pittsburgh decides to go ahead with this move, they'll need to be very confident that Samuel will be available to contribute throughout the season, something crucial to justify the cost of this potential trade. But here comes the real surprise. The Steelers may not be the only team interested in Samuel. Although Pittsburgh is one of the frontrunners, several other contenders in the league could also enter the race for the 49ers receiver. This would increase the competition and could significantly drive up the trade price, something that could complicate the process for the Steelers. If they are truly committed to bringing Samuel in, they will need to act quickly and be willing to offer something the 49ers can't refuse. Another aspect to consider is Samuel's relationship with the 49ers. While he's been a key piece of San Francisco's offense, rumors point to him not being completely satisfied with his current situation. There has been talk of some tension between Samuel and the organization regarding his role and how he's being used in the offensive scheme. If Deebo Samuel is looking for a team that will give him more prominence and a central role in the offense, Pittsburgh could be the ideal destination. With a young quarterback like Kenny Pickett, who is still in the process of growing and developing, a receiver like Samuel could be the piece that gives the Steelers' offense a new identity. In terms of offensive scheme, Samuel's arrival would be a great addition. The Steelers' offensive coordinator could design specific plays to take advantage of his speed, ability to gain yards after the catch, and overall versatility. Additionally, Samuel would bring not only talent, but also a winning mindset. In a franchise like Pittsburgh, looking to return to the NFL's top ranks, a player of Samuel's caliber could have an immediate impact. We can't overlook the fact that Deebo Samuel's arrival could give the Steelers a new level of competitiveness in the AFC and could put them back in the title race. But as we've mentioned, it's not just about Samuel's ability, it's also about the strategic decisions the Steelers need to make. Should they take the risk of paying the price for a player of his caliber, knowing they might have to deal with a costly contract and an injury history? The outcome of this potential move is still to be determined, but what is indisputable is that Deebo Samuel is a talent that could change the direction of any team's offense, including the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they manage to land him, The franchise could be taking the most important step in years toward a more explosive and competitive offense. Now, we want to hear your opinion. Should the Steelers bet on Deebo Samuel, or do you think it's better for them to look for other alternatives on the market? Is it worth risking the franchise's future to land a player of this level? Leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all the latest Steelers updates. See you in the next video.